welcome to another video. Today's video is about how we are giving up our rights to technology and how technology savvy societies who depend solely on technology are in essence going to be destroyed. How we are allowing devices to control what we do for the day, where we go, rather than us looking up information out of a book or even Googling it on the internet. That is how lazy and dependent we have gotten. We don't even want to type in the information, go to a computer or even use our phones to type in the information. The voice technology was basically to be used when you are doing something such as driving, where you have to use hands-free options so that you're not holding your device and trying to text. You can safely drive and get that information, or people who are visually impaired. Now, I must say this, what I am also noticing is how devices are being misused and abused by people who it was not even intended for. Like, for example, the fidget spinner. The fidget spinner, which was designed for kids with special needs, specifically kids with autism or even attention deficit issues, to help them focus, balance, use their dexterity, get their hands stronger, and just keep their focus. But of course, now everyone is using the fidget spinner, and it's just a household name. And I feel like in like manner, the devices such as Siri and Alexa, all of these things that started out maybe to help people who were either blind or visually impaired in some way, or handicapped and couldn't get to things quickly. Things like that make sense, has now been taken over by the rest of society. So that what was once used as just a convenience to be used in moderation from time to time has now turned into depending on those devices to do everything for you. And rather than us just using devices just to, at times when it's more convenient to use them, we're just allowing the devices to pick a movie for us, pick a restaurant, to call a restaurant, to put in an order for us, rather than just communicating with other people. So I think that's the difference. The technology that is supposed to help you from time to time has now been turned into depending on that same technology to do everything. And believe it or not, what we're doing in society is we have become disabled. We are willfully disabling ourselves, making it so that our abilities are now disabilities because we have given them all over to devices. And what people who do have legitimate, real health or medical related disabilities have to endure and go through, or things that have made it accessible for them to be able to have a better quality of life, the people who do not need those same types of services are still using them as though they are disabled. So that's exactly what we're doing. We're being disabled in our in the physical as well as in our mental state. So in other words, the technology that has been used to make things faster and easier makes us harder to take. And no wonder we have no patience with people. We don't like people. It's just a part of the satanic beast system that Satan has designed so that when we are constantly on our devices rather than interacting with others, we lose patience. We lose the ability to relate to other people. No one is relatable. Everything has been desensitized. So, yes, faster and easier does make us harder to take. Ultimately, what this is doing is creating idols, gods, where we are worshiping technology and saying this technology is better than the human mind, even though the human mind developed the actual technology. We have more faith in what a robot says, what Alexa says, Siri has to say, and trust Google Maps for where we're going rather than our God-given senses. And this is how it all relates back to flat earth, because people just do not, it does not register. People do not want to even entertain the notion that the earth is actually flat and we are still and not moving. To say that we're not spinning right now, and to say that the globe does not exist and we're hurling through space, that to them is beyond anything. So the faith that is supposed to be towards our Creator, who designed things in order, and not just in the chronological order, but also in the order of making logical sense. He gave us sound minds. That's one of the gifts of God, to give us each a sound mind so that we could navigate through this world and realize that He is real. What I've come to find is that what they want in Hollywood through watching these movies is for the audience to decide to give up something, whether it's their moral fiber or their moral compass, just their morals altogether, their rights in some form or fashion. They want us to, because they always have a setting where the characters are put in some kind of a situation where someone has to make an ultimate decision, and you are already being swayed to having them do something, do some action, whether it's for preteens, for the boy and the girl to kiss, or to go further and have sex, and they want that child to say, or to actually root them on in their hearts and say, yeah, go for it, just this is true love, just go ahead and do it. The same way with violence, we say, yeah, kill them all. I remember the Charles Bronson movies back in the day, Death Wish, and of course he was a vigilante going out and killing the thugs that murdered his family. And at the end of the day, you are just so filled with hatred and wrath and vengeance yourself that you want him to just kill everybody who gets in his way. And it's the same type of method that they use for technology. They're saying, well, we get everything wrong. We just don't know how to cook this way or drive that way. Let's get a machine, a robot, something that has wires and a CPU. Let's get this to do it for you. It'll be so much easier, and hey, you won't break a sweat. So it's like, we're rooting for the technology, and the people are, it's basically like, oh yeah, whenever I talk to someone, it's so rude, I would rather just go straight to automation, to the automated service. It's quick, it's reliable, I don't have to talk to anyone, you know what I'm saying? So those are the methods, those are the ways that they get us here to this point where we are just rooting for the technology, the robots, for the robots to come and take over. Oh, yes, yes, yes. We need reliability. We need speed, how quick it is. We need speed and reliability. And the only things that can make sure that this goes through is an automated service that is computer generated and computer operated, and we need to have more of this. And of course it's going to lay off 100 people or so, or maybe 1,000 or 10,000 people, but hey, as long as we are satisfying the customer, then hey, who cares? And we went to go see The Incredibles 2, and we saw that the villain's name, which was Screenslaver, had some really good arguments about what technology does to our society. It's easy to enslave people when they're constantly looking down, watching a monitor, a screen, completely zoned out of what's happening around them. And yeah, that we rely too heavily on technology. So in that regard, I would say that she made some excellent points and arguments about why technology has taken over our society in a negative way. And then also the main thing was that the villain did not want for society, I guess, to rely so much on superheroes, and to make people wake up and realize that, we have the power within ourselves. And I just thought, I said, well, in a way, the villain is bringing up some very valid arguments about how we as a society, we have allowed ourselves to become defenseless, and are saying to, let's say, the government, oh yeah, take away our rights so that you can decide for us. We don't want another terrorist attack. And we just suddenly forgotten about all the terror that has happened in this country before 9/11. That the government has always been corrupt, but it took a strong people who fought against the system, who protested and rose up against wrong actions and wrong laws, and fought against those things. That is what caused change, true change, and the power to remain with the people, the voice of the people. So now it's shifted. Everything is, oh, Alexa. So we really felt that that was the main thing driven home, that in reality, the so-called villain was trying to warn us as a society, this is what's happening. And to put our faith in just a few people who may seemingly have our best interest at heart, but once you have woken up to all the lies, you just realize that everything has a message. Everything has a hidden message, subliminal, something that a double meaning or more. So it's going to be difficult not to realize that, and not to use that to measure everything by after that. So, and it's been a while since I've mentioned anything about, the flat earth, but that it's just a great example. I mean, it's just so clear to me that is that's the topic that can hopefully just wake up people, because when we see when people lie to you, people, they're like, well, there are top secret things that the government keeps away from the people, that it's like you can only find out on a need to know basis. And these are people within, the Pentagon, CIA, just high ranking officials, the president's circles, who gets to decide, well, if this information should be given to the public or not, or if they are going to hide very important information from us, okay? But those decisions are made. So we know that, of course, if they're hiding what the actual model of the Earth is, and using certain, all these different groups and just a certain few who are privy to the information, just to keep a lie going that, if you just look at it at face value, you're like, well, what does the shape of the Earth have to do with anything? Why can't they just say it's flat and leave it at that? But when you realize that it's the bigger picture from that is, oh, well, they want to hide your creator. Don't you see? You see, they want to hide your significance, our importance, that if we are it and he is right above us, and there are no vast, galaxies and an ever expanding universe, and we're not being, swept away through space at astronomical speeds, and it's not happening. Once we see that part, it's like, oh, so all of this is to make us feel insignificant, worthless, just something that happened by chance. And once you feel that way, then yeah, I guess you don't mind giving away rights and control over time, because if they're like, well, everything has to change, we're evolving, we're evolving as a nation, as a world. Now it's all about the transhumanism, going beyond just being a regular human. What's the fun in that? So of course that's why we're also saying, if it's not dealing with outer space and aliens, and like Star Wars, or things like that, and of course we saw the Avengers Infinity War, just if it's not dealing with things like that, it's dealing with these Nephilim creatures, these hybrids, demigods, mutants, whatever you want to call these action figures. And, that is then what is given to us. So those of you who know what the Bible says, that in Genesis chapter 6, that there was a time when there were men of renown, giants, like real giants, not 10 feet tall. I'm talking about hundreds of feet, or way more, 500 feet, 1,000 feet tall. And they were on this earth. And they had powers. So the whole movie, like Clash of the Titans, and they always go back to that, to the Titans and these super men, supermen. And it once again goes back to taking away the significance of just being an average Joe. So what happens is, once we diminish our own importance, then it's easier for others to do that. We won't even question them about it, because we won't even value our own significance, our own lives. We'll just believe this is just the way things are supposed to go, and we're not going to put up a fight. So if we get to the point of just saying, I surrender my will over to man, that is oh so dangerous, perilous times that we are in. So we have to truly wake up to the lies, to how we're being manipulated on a daily basis. Wake up and pray. Seek the Lord if you don't know him already. We are just living in an age now where it's about, well, I'm gonna I don't trust in God. You know, I will let man decide what's best for me, you know. So we have to break out of that, or of course, like I said, the devices themselves. Okay, we're just gonna let the machines take over. Turn on my lights for me and make me some coffee before I get home. And, open the door. Maybe it's going to say one day, no, I'm not going to let you leave. You're staying right here. I mean, it is a horror movie waiting to happen. So, but that is going to end it for this video right now. I just wanted to just remind us that we are so significant. We are so important to God, to others. We have value, so much value. We are invaluable. And if we allow our significance to be diminished because of the things that we are allowing into our minds and in our hearts, of how we think about ourselves and other people, there are people who actually say, I hate people, I just don't want to be around them. Well, isn't that a great way that the enemy has used to keep us apart and separated? When we see people out and about, we don't want to talk to them. We're just like, let me cross the street. Here, let me pretend like I'm on my phone. And it's always in the movies where the world is about to come to an end, where everyone automatically, they're just like, oh, okay, I need help. Let's unite. Let's do that before something like this takes place. Preventive measures. Okay, well, that really does it for this video, but thank you for tuning in. And as always, I ask that you give me your comments and your feedback. And I hope to make a video sooner than later. So until the next time, I hope that you guys take care and just continue to know that you are so important, so important. Until the next time, you take care. Bye-bye.